What if the greatest achievements of ancient civilizations weren't just their grand monuments or epic battles, but the everyday tools and inventions that quietly reshaped their world? Long before modern technology, ancient societies were filled with brilliant minds who crafted innovations so ahead of their time, they still leave us in awe today. From a mysterious device that predicted the stars to a building material so strong it's lasted thousands of years, these forgotten inventions didn't just change the way people lived, they laid the foundation for the world we know now. In this video, we'll uncover 26 of these groundbreaking creations, each one a testament to the ingenuity of our ancestors. Why should we care about these ancient marvels? Because they remind us that the seeds of progress were planted long ago and their stories are still shaping our future. Let's step back in time and rediscover the brilliance of the past. Hidden beneath the waves for over 2,000 years, the Antikythera Mechanism was discovered in a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera in the early 20th century. At first glance, it looked like a corroded lump of bronze, but upon closer inspection, researchers realized they were holding something extraordinary. This intricate device, no larger than a shoebox, was packed with a complex system of gears and dials, each one meticulously crafted to track the movements of celestial bodies. Dating back to around 100 BC, it's often called the world's first analog computer, a title that doesn't even begin to capture its brilliance. The Antikythera Mechanism wasn't just a tool, it was a window into the heavens. By turning a hand crank, users could predict the positions of the sun, moon, and planets with astonishing accuracy. It even calculated the timing of solar and lunar eclipses, events that held immense significance for ancient societies. Imagine the awe of someone in the ancient world holding this device, watching as it revealed the secrets of the cosmos with a precision that seemed almost magical. How did the Greeks, without the benefit of modern engineering or tools, create something so advanced? The answer lies in their deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and mechanics, a combination of knowledge that was centuries ahead of its time. But the Antikythera Mechanism wasn't just a marvel of engineering, it was a testament to how ancient civilizations viewed their place in the universe. For the Greeks, the stars and planets were not just distant lights but powerful forces that influenced everything from agriculture to religion. This device allowed them to navigate these celestial influences with confidence, blending science and spirituality in a way that feels almost poetic. It's a reminder that innovation isn't just about solving practical problems, it's about expanding our understanding of the world around us. What's perhaps most remarkable is how the Antikythera Mechanism challenges our assumptions about ancient technology. We often think of the past as a simpler time, but discoveries like this remind us that human ingenuity has always been capable of extraordinary feats. The gears and dials of this ancient computer are a silent yet powerful statement. The seeds of modern science were planted long before we ever imagined. As we continue to uncover its secrets, the Antikythera Mechanism invites us to rethink what we know about the ancient world, and perhaps even our own. While the Antikythera Mechanism revealed the ancient world's mastery of the cosmos, another invention from the same era showcased their genius on the ground, literally. Enter Roman concrete, or opus cementitium, a material so groundbreaking it literally held an empire together. Picture this, towering aqueducts stretching across rugged landscapes, the mighty Colosseum standing tall after 2,000 years, and sprawling harbors that thrived beneath the waves. These iconic structures were all made possible by a single innovation: concrete that could outlast time itself. But what made Roman concrete so special? The answer lies in a surprising ingredient: volcanic ash. The Romans didn't just stumble upon this formula, they perfected it. By mixing volcanic ash, lime, and water, they created a material that was not only incredibly strong but also capable of setting underwater. This was a game changer for building projects, allowing them to construct everything from bridges to sea walls with unmatched durability. Modern concrete, by comparison, often cracks and degrades over time, especially when exposed to water. But Roman concrete, it seemed to defy the ages, growing stronger as it weathered the centuries. The secret was in the chemical reaction between the volcanic ash and seawater, which created a crystalline structure that reinforced the material over time. This innovation didn't just shape the skyline of ancient Rome, it shaped the empire itself. With such a reliable building material, the Romans could connect their vast territories through an intricate network of roads, aqueducts, and ports. These structures weren't just feats of engineering, they were the backbone of Roman power, enabling the efficient movement of goods, armies, and ideas across continents. The Colosseum, for instance, wasn't just a stadium. It was a symbol of Roman might, a place where the empire's grandeur was on full display, and it was all made possible by a humble mixture of volcanic ash and lime. But the legacy of Roman concrete extends far beyond the ancient world. Even today, engineers and researchers are studying its unique properties, hoping to unlock its secrets for modern construction. Imagine a world where our buildings and bridges could stand for millennia, just as the Romans intended. It's a testament to their ingenuity that we're still learning from their innovations thousands of years later. Roman concrete wasn't just a building material, it was a foundation for civilization itself, a reminder that sometimes the simplest ideas can leave the most lasting impressions. Now, let's journey to ancient Mesopotamia, where another astonishing invention defies our expectations of what ancient societies were capable of. Unearthed near modern-day Baghdad, the so-called Baghdad Battery is a puzzling artifact that has sparked endless debate among historians and scientists alike. Composed of a simple clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, this unassuming object might just hold the key to one of history's most intriguing questions. Did ancient civilizations harness electricity long before we thought possible? At first glance, the Baghdad Battery doesn't look like much, just a collection of ordinary materials. But when you consider how these components were arranged, something fascinating emerges. The copper cylinder fits snugly inside the jar, while the iron rod is suspended in the center, separated from the copper by a layer of asphalt. Fill the jar with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, and you have a setup that could theoretically generate a small electric charge. The implications are staggering. If this was indeed a primitive battery, it would predate the modern battery by more than 1,000 years. So, what was it used for? The truth is, we may never know for certain. Some researchers suggest it could have been used for electroplating, a process that coats one metal with another using electricity. Imagine ancient artisans using this device to gild jewelry or embellish sacred objects, creating shimmering works of art that would have captivated their contemporaries. Others propose it might have had a more ceremonial purpose, perhaps used in religious rituals to produce a mysterious, otherworldly effect. The idea of ancient priests wielding the power of electricity adds an almost mythical quality to this already enigmatic artifact. But not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that the Baghdad Battery might have been nothing more than a storage vessel for scrolls or oils, with the iron rod and copper cylinder serving a purely practical function. Without written records or additional evidence, the true purpose of this device remains shrouded in mystery. What's undeniable, though, is how it challenges our assumptions about the technological capabilities of ancient societies. Could the people of Mesopotamia have stumbled upon the principles of electricity without the tools or knowledge we associate with such discoveries? The possibility alone is enough to spark wonder. The Baghdad Battery serves as a powerful reminder that the past is full of surprises. It invites us to reconsider what we think we know about history and the ingenuity of those who came before us. Whether it was an early battery, a ceremonial tool, or something entirely different, this artifact stands as a testament to the creativity and resourcefulness of ancient civilizations, a spark of innovation that continues to light the way for curious minds today. While the Baghdad Battery leaves us marveling at the mysteries of ancient ingenuity, the watermill stands as a testament to how early civilizations harnessed the natural world to transform their societies. Picture a small Greek village nestled by a rushing river, where the rhythmic sound of a water wheel turning marks the beginning of a revolution not just in technology, but in how people lived and worked. The watermill, first developed by the Greeks and later refined by the Romans, was more than just a tool. It was a leap forward in humanity's ability to control and utilize the forces of nature. At its core, the watermill was a simple yet brilliant concept. By channeling the energy of flowing water through a series of gears and wheels, it converted that natural force into mechanical power. This power could then be used to grind grain, saw timber, or even pump water tasks that had previously required hours of backbreaking labor. Imagine the relief of a farmer who no longer had to spend hours manually grinding wheat into flour, or the efficiency of a carpenter who could now cut wood faster than ever before. The watermill didn't just save time, it changed the way people thought about work. The Romans took this invention to new heights, building sophisticated networks of watermills across their empire. Some of these mills were massive, capable of producing flour for entire cities or powering industrial-scale workshops. One of the most impressive examples was the Barbegal Mill complex in southern France, which featured an intricate system of aqueducts and multiple water wheels working in tandem. This wasn't just a mill, it was an early factory, a precursor to the industrial hubs that would emerge centuries later. The sheer scale of these operations speaks to the Romans' engineering prowess and their ability to think big. But the impact of the watermill went far beyond its immediate uses. By reducing the reliance on human and animal labor, it freed up time and resources for other pursuits, sparking a ripple effect across ancient economies. Artisans could focus on perfecting their crafts, traders could expand their networks, and communities could grow larger and more interconnected. The watermill didn't just make life easier, it laid the groundwork for the Industrial Revolution, showing humanity the potential of mechanical power long before the advent of steam engines. What's truly remarkable is how this ancient invention reflects a deep understanding of the natural world. The Greeks and Romans didn't just see rivers as sources of water, they saw them as reservoirs of untapped energy waiting to be harnessed. This mindset of observing, understanding, and innovating was a hallmark of their civilizations. The watermill wasn't just a machine, it was a symbol of progress, a reminder that even the simplest ideas can have far-reaching consequences. Today, as we look back at the watermill, we're reminded of how much we owe to the ingenuity of the past. It's a story of transformation, of how a single invention can reshape societies and set the stage for future advancements. And perhaps, as we face our own challenges, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a flowing river and saw not just water but possibility. Imagine standing in the sun-baked fields of ancient Egypt or Greece, where water was precious and every drop mattered. For civilizations living in arid regions, the ability to move water efficiently wasn't just a convenience, it was a matter of survival. Enter the Archimedes Screw, a deceptively simple device that turned the challenge of water management into a triumph of engineering. Named after the legendary Greek mathematician Archimedes, who is credited with its invention around 200 BCE, this helical contraption revolutionized the way ancient societies approached irrigation and agriculture. At its heart, the Archimedes screw is a marvel of simplicity. Picture a large screw encased in a hollow tube, tilted at an angle with one end submerged in water. When the screw is turned, either by hand or by a mechanical device, the rotating blades scoop up water and carry it upward to the top of the tube where it's released. It's a straightforward concept, yet its impact was profound. For the first time, farmers could lift water from rivers, lakes, or wells to irrigate their fields without relying on backbreaking labor or gravity alone. This meant crops could thrive in areas that were previously too dry to farm, transforming barren landscapes into fertile fields. But the Archimedes screw wasn't just a tool for farmers, it was a catalyst for growth. By enabling more efficient irrigation, it allowed ancient societies to produce surplus food, which in turn supported larger populations and the development of cities. Think about it, when people no longer had to devote all their time and energy to growing food, they could focus on other pursuits, from building infrastructure to advancing art and science. The Archimedes screw didn't just water crops, it watered the seeds of civilization itself. The genius of the Archimedes screw lies in its adaptability. While it was primarily used for irrigation, its applications extended far beyond agriculture. In mining operations, it helped drain water from deep pits, making it safer and easier to extract valuable resources. In urban settings, it was used to move water for drinking, bathing, and even waste removal. The Romans, ever the innovators, incorporated the screw into their aqueduct systems, using it to maintain a steady flow of water across their sprawling empire. This versatility made it one of the most enduring inventions of the ancient world, a tool that remained in use for centuries. What's perhaps most remarkable is how the Archimedes screw reflects the brilliance of its namesake. Archimedes wasn't just a mathematician, he was a problem solver, someone who looked at the challenges of his time and devised elegant solutions. His screw embodies this spirit of innovation, combining practicality with ingenuity in a way that feels almost timeless. Even today, modern versions of the Archimedes screw are used in wastewater treatment plants and hydroelectric projects, proving that great ideas never truly go out of style. As we reflect on the Archimedes screw, we're reminded of how ancient inventions continue to shape our world. It's a story of creativity and resourcefulness, of how a simple device could lift not just water but entire societies. And perhaps as we face our own challenges, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a problem and saw not just an obstacle, but an opportunity to innovate. The Archimedes screw isn't just a relic of the past, it's a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity. Rising from the shores of ancient Alexandria like a sentinel of the sea, the Lighthouse of Alexandria was more than just a marvel of engineering. It was a lifeline for sailors navigating the unpredictable waters of the Mediterranean. Standing at over 100 meters tall, this colossal structure wasn't merely a landmark. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of human ingenuity that bridged the gap between land and sea. Known as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the lighthouse didn't just guide ships to safety, it illuminated the path for an entire era of trade, exploration, and cultural exchange. At the heart of its brilliance was a system so advanced it left even ancient historians in awe. By day, a massive polished bronze mirror reflected sunlight, casting a beam visible for miles. By night, a roaring fire fueled by wood and resin sent flames leaping into the sky, their light amplified by the mirror to pierce the darkness. This ingenious combination of fire and reflection wasn't just effective, it was revolutionary, offering sailors a reliable way to navigate treacherous coastlines and avoid hidden dangers. Imagine the relief of a weary captain spotting that distant glow after weeks at sea, knowing they were nearing the safety of Alexandria's bustling harbor. But the lighthouse was more than just a navigational tool. It was a statement of power and ambition. Commissioned by Ptolemy II around 280 BCE, it symbolized Alexandria's rise as a cultural and economic hub. The city was a melting pot of ideas where Greek, Egyptian, and Middle Eastern influences converged, and the lighthouse stood as a testament to this vibrant exchange. Its towering presence announced Alexandria's importance to every ship that approached, drawing merchants, scholars, and travelers from across the known world. In this way, the lighthouse didn't just guide ships, it connected civilizations. The engineering behind this ancient wonder was nothing short of extraordinary. Built on the small island of Pharos just off the coast of Alexandria, the lighthouse was a feat of precision and planning. Its three-tiered design, a square base, an octagonal middle, and a cylindrical top, was both structurally sound and visually stunning. At its peak, a statue of Poseidon, the god of the sea, stood watch, a fitting tribute to the structure's maritime purpose. The logistics of constructing such a massive building with the tools and technology of the time are almost unimaginable, yet the ancient Egyptians and Greeks made it a reality. This wasn't just architecture, it was artistry in stone and light. The impact of the Lighthouse of Alexandria extended far beyond its immediate function. By making the harbor safer and more accessible, it transformed Alexandria into a thriving center of trade and commerce. Goods from Greece, Rome, Persia, and India flowed through its port, fueling economic growth and cultural exchange. The lighthouse also inspired countless imitations, with similar structures popping up in ports across the Mediterranean and beyond. Its influence can still be seen today in the design of modern lighthouses, which continue to guide ships with the same basic principles of light and reflection. Yet, the lighthouse's legacy isn't just about its physical achievements. It reminds us of humanity's enduring desire to conquer the unknown, to light the way even in the darkest of times. It's a story of collaboration, of how the combined knowledge of ancient engineers, architects, and laborers created something that stood the test of time both literally and figuratively. Though the lighthouse eventually fell to earthquakes and the passage of centuries, its spirit lives on, a shining example of what we can achieve when we dare to dream big. As we marvel at the Lighthouse of Alexandria, we're reminded that some inventions don't just solve problems, they inspire. They remind us of our shared history, our boundless potential, and the ways in which we continue to build on the foundations laid by those who came before us. The lighthouse wasn't just a structure of stone and fire. It was a beacon of progress, a light that guided not just ships but the course of history itself. While the Lighthouse of Alexandria lit up the ancient world from the outside, the Romans turned their attention inward, creating a system that brought warmth and comfort to the very heart of their homes and public spaces. Enter the Hypocaust, an ingenious invention that transformed how people experienced the colder months. Picture this, a frigid winter day in ancient Rome, where outside the wind bites at your skin, but inside a grand villa or public bath, you're enveloped in a soothing, even warmth. This wasn't magic, it was engineering brilliance at its finest. The Hypocaust worked by circulating hot air beneath the floors and through the walls of a building. At its core was a furnace, often fueled by wood or charcoal, which heated air that was then channeled through a network of hollow spaces beneath raised floors. These floors, supported by rows of brick or stone pillars, allowed the warm air to flow freely, radiating heat upward into the rooms above. The walls, too, were designed with hollow tubes known as tubuli, which carried the heat even higher, ensuring that no corner of the space was left chilly. The result, a consistent, comfortable temperature that rivaled modern central heating systems. But the Hypocaust wasn't just about comfort, it was a reflection of Roman values. Public baths or thermae were more than places to wash. They were social hubs where people gathered to relax, exercise, and conduct business. By heating these spaces, the Romans ensured that their baths remained bustling centers of activity year-round, regardless of the weather. This emphasis on public health and community well-being was a hallmark of Roman society, and the Hypocaust played a key role in making it possible. Imagine stepping into a warm bathhouse on a freezing day, surrounded by the chatter of friends and neighbors, a luxury that many of us take for granted today, but one that was revolutionary at the time. The Hypocaust also revealed the Romans' knack for blending practicality with luxury. Wealthy citizens often installed these systems in their private villas, turning their homes into cozy retreats even in the depths of winter. Mosaic floors, a common feature in Roman homes, not only added beauty but also helped retain and distribute heat more effectively. This combination of aesthetics and functionality was a testament to the Romans' ability to elevate everyday comforts into works of art. What's truly remarkable is how the Hypocaust set the stage for modern heating systems. The basic principles of circulating warm air through ducts and underfloors are still used today, albeit with more advanced technology. The Romans may not have had thermostats or electric furnaces, but their understanding of heat transfer and airflow was groundbreaking. It's a reminder that many of the conveniences we enjoy today have roots that stretch back thousands of years. As we marvel at the Hypocaust, we're reminded of how the Romans didn't just build an empire, they built a way of life. Their innovations weren't just about solving problems, they were about enhancing the human experience, creating spaces where people could thrive in comfort and community. The Hypocaust wasn't just a heating system, it was a symbol of progress, a warm embrace from the past that continues to inspire us today. While the Hypocaust warmed the hearts and homes of ancient Rome, another invention from the same era was quietly laying the groundwork for a revolution that would transform the world. Enter the Aeolipile, often credited to Hero of Alexandria, a Greek engineer and mathematician who lived in the 1st century CE. This simple yet ingenious device is often referred to as the world's first steam engine, a title that hints at its significance, even if its potential was never fully realized in its time. Picture a hollow sphere mounted on a pair of tubes with nozzles pointing outward like tiny jets. When water inside the sphere was heated, the resulting steam escaped through the nozzles, causing the sphere to spin rapidly. It was a mesmerizing display of physics in action, a glimpse into the power of steam that would one day fuel the Industrial Revolution. At its core, the Elipile was a proof of concept, a demonstration of how steam could be harnessed to create motion. For Hero, it was likely a fascinating experiment, a way to explore the principles of pressure and propulsion. But for those who came after him, it was something far more profound, a spark of inspiration. Imagine the awe of witnessing this spinning sphere for the first time, realizing that steam, something as ordinary as hot water vapor, could generate enough force to move an object. It was a moment that hinted at possibilities far beyond its creator's intentions. Yet, despite its brilliance, the Elipile was never used for practical purposes in the ancient world. Some historians suggest it was seen as little more than a curiosity, a clever toy or temple offering rather than a tool for industry, but that doesn't diminish its importance. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, the ideas behind the Elipile lay dormant for centuries, waiting for the right conditions to sprout, and when they did, they changed everything. Fast forward to the 18th century, when inventors like James Watt began tinkering with steam power, building on the principles first demonstrated by Hero's device. Watt's improvements to the steam engine, such as the separate condenser and rotary motion, were revolutionary, powering factories, trains, and ships in ways that transformed society. But it's worth noting that Watt didn't start from scratch. He stood on the shoulders of giants, drawing inspiration from the experiments of those who came before him. The Aeolipile, though small and seemingly insignificant, was one of those foundational steps. What makes the Aeolipile so remarkable is how it embodies the spirit of innovation. Hero didn't set out to create a machine that would change the world. He was simply exploring the boundaries of what was possible. And in doing so, he planted the seeds for a technological revolution that would unfold centuries later. It's a reminder that progress often begins with curiosity, with the willingness to ask what if, and see where the answers lead. As we reflect on the Aeolipile, we're reminded that some of the most important inventions aren't the ones that immediately change the world, but the ones that inspire others to dream bigger. Hero's spinning sphere may have been a humble beginning, but it set the stage for a future where steam power would drive humanity forward. And perhaps as we look to the challenges of our own time, we can draw inspiration from that same spirit of exploration. The belief that even the smallest idea can grow into something extraordinary. Imagine holding a cup that seems to possess a kind of magic. In normal light, it appears a deep forest green, but when light shines through it, the glass transforms, glowing a rich blood red. This isn't a trick of modern technology. It's the Lycurgus Cup, a masterpiece of Roman craftsmanship that dates back to the 4th century CE. What makes this cup so extraordinary isn't just its beauty, but the science behind its mesmerizing color shift. Embedded within the glass are tiny particles of gold and silver, ground so finely that they measure just a few nanometers across. These nanoparticles scatter light in a way that creates the cup's unique optical effect, a phenomenon we now know as dichroism. But how did ancient artisans, without the benefit of microscopes or modern tools, achieve such precision? The answer lies in their mastery of materials and their keen observational skills, honed over generations of experimentation. The Lycurgus Cup isn't just a marvel of ancient artistry. It's a window into the sophisticated understanding of materials that existed long before the term nanotechnology was ever coined. To create the cup, Roman glassmakers would have had to carefully control the size and distribution of the metal particles within the glass, a process that required both technical skill and an intuitive grasp of chemistry. They likely began by melting glass with small amounts of gold and silver, then cooling and reheating it to manipulate the metal particles into the desired size. The result was a material that interacted with light in ways that still astonish scientists today. It's a reminder that the ancient world was far more advanced than we often give it credit for, capable of feats that blur the line between science and art. But the Lycurgus Cup isn't just a testament to technical prowess, it's also a reflection of the cultural and symbolic significance of glass in the ancient world. The cup's design depicts the myth of King Lycurgus, a figure from Greek mythology who was entangled in vines for defying the god Dionysus. The color-changing effect may have been intended to evoke the story's themes of transformation and divine retribution, adding a layer of storytelling to an already remarkable object. For the Romans, glass was more than just a material. It was a medium for expressing power, spirituality, and the mysteries of the natural world. The Lycurgus Cup embodies this duality, blending science and symbolism in a way that captivates us even today. What's perhaps most astonishing is how the cup challenges our assumptions about the limits of ancient technology. We often think of nanotechnology as a modern breakthrough, something born of labs and high-tech equipment. Yet here we have an artifact that demonstrates a rudimentary form of it, crafted over 1600 years ago. The Lycurgus Cup forces us to reconsider what the ancients were capable of, pushing the boundaries of what we think we know about their scientific knowledge and technical abilities. It's a humbling reminder that innovation isn't confined to any one era. It's a thread that runs through human history, connecting the past to the present in unexpected ways. Today, the Lycurgus Cup is not just an artifact, it's an inspiration. Researchers study its properties to better understand the behavior of nanoparticles, drawing lessons from ancient techniques to inform modern applications. It's a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and creativity, a reminder that the quest to manipulate and understand the world around us is as old as civilization itself. As we gaze at this ancient marvel, we're reminded that the line between art and science is often thinner than we think, and that the brilliance of the past continues to illuminate the path forward. In the rugged hills and vast plains of ancient China, a single invention would forever alter the course of warfare: the Qin Dynasty crossbow. Unlike the traditional bows of the time, which required years of training and immense physical strength, the crossbow was a game changer. It was a weapon of precision and power, capable of launching arrows with such force that they could pierce even the toughest armor. But what made the crossbow so revolutionary wasn't just its destructive capability, it was its accessibility. For the first time, even untrained soldiers could wield a weapon that leveled the playing field against seasoned warriors. This wasn't just an advancement in weaponry, it was a shift in the very nature of warfare. The genius of the Qin Dynasty crossbow lay in its design. By using a trigger mechanism to release the bowstring, it eliminated the need for the strength and skill required to draw and hold a traditional bow. This meant that armies could quickly train large numbers of soldiers, turning ordinary citizens into formidable fighters. The crossbow's accuracy and range also gave soldiers a tactical advantage, allowing them to strike from a distance before their enemies could close in. Imagine the shock of facing an army where every soldier, regardless of experience, could unleash a barrage of deadly arrows with pinpoint accuracy. It was a nightmare for opposing forces and a dream for military strategists. But the impact of the crossbow went beyond the battlefield. It played a key role in the rise of the Qin dynasty itself, helping to unify China under a single ruler for the first time. The Qin armies, equipped with these powerful weapons, were able to conquer rival states and consolidate power, laying the foundation for one of history's most influential empires. This wasn't just a weapon of war, it was a tool of state building, a symbol of how technology could shape the destiny of nations. The crossbow's role in the Qin's success underscores the profound connection between military innovation and political power. What's fascinating is how the crossbow influenced military strategies long after the Qin dynasty fell. Its introduction forced armies to rethink their tactics, leading to the development of new forms of armor and fortifications designed to withstand its deadly bolts. Even in later centuries, the crossbow remained a staple of warfare, its design evolving but its core principles unchanged. It's a testament to the enduring impact of this ancient invention, a reminder that some ideas are so effective they stand the test of time. As we look back at the Qin dynasty crossbow, we're reminded of how innovation can reshape the world in unexpected ways. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a catalyst for change, a force that shifted the balance of power and left an indelible mark on history. And perhaps as we face our own challenges, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at the tools of their time and saw not just their limitations, but their potential to transform the future. The crossbow wasn't just a product of its era, it was a glimpse into the possibilities of what could be. Nestled along the banks of the Indus River, the cities of the ancient Indus Valley civilization were marvels of urban planning and engineering. But what truly set them apart wasn't just their grandeur, it was something far more practical, something we often take for granted today: a sophisticated sewage system. Thousands of years before modern plumbing, this ancient civilization developed a network of covered drains, waste disposal methods, and even public baths that would rival many cities of the 19th century. How did they achieve such an advanced level of sanitation, and what can their ingenuity teach us about the importance of urban planning? At the heart of this system were carefully designed covered drains, built beneath the streets and connected to individual homes. These drains weren't just holes in the ground, they were meticulously engineered, with sloped floors to ensure water and waste flowed smoothly away from populated areas. Each house had its own private bathroom, complete with a drainage system that fed into the larger network, a feature that wouldn't become common in Europe until thousands of years later. This wasn't just about convenience, it was about public health. By keeping waste separate from drinking water and living spaces, the Indus Valley people drastically reduced the risk of disease, creating a cleaner, healthier environment for their communities. But the sewage system was only one piece of a much larger puzzle. The Indus Valley cities were planned with remarkable precision, laid out in a grid pattern that made navigation and infrastructure management efficient. Streets were wide and straight, with homes and public buildings arranged in orderly blocks. This level of organization suggests a deep understanding of urban planning, a recognition that a city's success depends not just on its buildings, but on how its systems work together. The sewage system was a key part of this vision, a testament to the civilization's foresight and commitment to sustainability. What's truly striking is how this ancient system reflects values that resonate with us today. The Indus Valley people understood that sanitation wasn't just a private matter, it was a public responsibility. Their innovations weren't just about solving immediate problems, they were about creating a foundation for long-term growth and well-being. In a world where many ancient civilizations struggled with basic hygiene, the Indus Valley stood out as a beacon of progress, showing what's possible when a society prioritizes the health and comfort of its people. The legacy of the Indus Valley sewage system extends far beyond its time. It challenges the notion that advanced urban planning is a modern invention, reminding us that the principles of cleanliness, organization, and public health have been important for millennia. As we face our own challenges with urbanization and environmental sustainability, the Indus Valley offers a powerful lesson that the solutions to our problems often lie in the wisdom of the past. Their sewage system wasn't just a feat of engineering, it was a vision of what a city could be, a vision that continues to inspire us today. High in the jungles of Mesoamerica, the ancient Maya gazed at the stars and saw more than just distant lights. They saw a cosmic clock, a celestial guide that shaped every aspect of their lives. At the heart of their civilization was a calendar system so precise, so intricate, that it rivals modern timekeeping in its accuracy. The Mayan calendar wasn't just a tool for marking days, it was a masterpiece of mathematics and astronomy, a testament to their deep understanding of the universe and their place within it. But how did this remarkable system work, and what made it so revolutionary? The Mayan calendar was actually a combination of 3 separate cycles, each serving a unique purpose. The first, known as the Tzolk'in, was a sacred calendar of 260 days, used primarily for religious and ceremonial events. This cycle wasn't tied to the seasons or the sun, but instead followed a rhythm that aligned with the Maya's spiritual beliefs. It was a calendar of meaning, not just measurement. The second cycle, the Hob, was a solar calendar of 365 days, divided into 18 months of 20 days each, with an extra 5-day period known as Wayeb. This calendar guided agricultural activities, helping farmers determine the best times to plant and harvest crops. Together, these 2 cycles formed the calendar round, a 52-year cycle that synchronized the sacred and solar calendars. But the Maya didn't stop there. They also developed the long count, a linear calendar that tracked time over much longer periods, allowing them to record historical events and predict future astronomical phenomena. What's truly astonishing is the level of precision the Maya achieved without telescopes or modern technology. By carefully observing the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, they were able to calculate the length of a solar year to within minutes of the actual value. They even tracked the cycles of Venus, a planet they associated with warfare and divine intervention, with remarkable accuracy. This wasn't just timekeeping, it was a deep, almost spiritual connection to the cosmos. The Maya believed that time was cyclical, not linear, and that understanding these cycles was key to maintaining harmony between the natural and supernatural worlds. Their calendar wasn't just a tool, it was a bridge between the earthly and the divine. But the Mayan calendar wasn't just about numbers and stars, it shaped every facet of their culture. Religious ceremonies were timed to coincide with specific dates, ensuring they aligned with cosmic forces. Agricultural practices were guided by the Hob, ensuring crops were planted and harvested at the optimal times. Even warfare was influenced by the calendar, with battles often timed to coincide with the movements of Venus. The calendar was woven into the fabric of Mayan life, influencing everything from daily routines to grand political decisions. It was a system that reflected their worldview, one where time was sacred and every moment held meaning. The legacy of the Mayan calendar extends far beyond its historical context. It challenges our modern assumptions about time, reminding us that there's more to it than just counting days. For the Maya, time was a living, breathing force, something to be understood and respected. Their calendar wasn't just a feat of mathematics, it was a testament to their creativity, their ingenuity, and their profound connection to the universe. Even today, as we rely on digital clocks and atomic timekeeping, the Mayan calendar invites us to think differently about how we measure and experience time. It's a reminder that some inventions aren't just about practicality, they're about understanding the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. Beneath the sun-scorched deserts of ancient Persia, an underground lifeline stretched silently for miles, bringing life to one of the harshest environments on Earth. This was the Kanat system, a network of tunnels so ingenious it turned barren landscapes into thriving oases. Imagine standing in the middle of a desert where water is scarce and survival seems impossible. Now picture a series of gently sloping tunnels carved by hand, guiding water from distant mountains to fields, homes, and cities. This wasn't just engineering, it was a triumph of human determination and resourcefulness, a solution so effective it's still in use today. The Kanat system worked by tapping into underground water sources, often found in the foothills of mountains. Workers dug a vertical shaft down to the water table, then extended a horizontal tunnel at a slight slope to carry the water to where it was needed. Along the way, additional vertical shafts were dug at regular intervals, serving both as access points for maintenance and as vents to regulate air pressure. The result was a steady, reliable flow of water that could travel for miles without losing its momentum. It was a system that required no pumps, no electricity, and no modern technology. Just a deep understanding of hydrology and the patience to carve tunnels by hand, often through solid rock. What made the Kanat system so revolutionary wasn't just its ability to transport water. It was how it transformed entire regions. In the arid climates of Persia, where rainfall was rare and rivers were few, the Kanat made agriculture possible on a scale that would otherwise have been unimaginable. Crops could flourish, livestock could thrive, and communities could grow, all thanks to this hidden network of tunnels. Cities like Yazd and Kerman became centers of culture and commerce, their existence made possible by the Kanat's life-giving flow. It wasn't just a water system, it was the foundation of civilization in the desert. But the Kanat wasn't just about survival, it was about sustainability. Unlike surface irrigation methods, which could lead to evaporation and water loss, the Kanat kept water underground, protected from the sun's relentless heat. This made it incredibly efficient, ensuring that every drop was used to its fullest potential. The system also had a built-in balance. As water was drawn from one area, the natural slope of the tunnels ensured that the water table remained stable, preventing overuse and depletion. It was a model of environmental stewardship, one that modern societies are only now beginning to fully appreciate. The Kanat system's influence extended far beyond Persia. As the idea spread, it was adopted by civilizations across the Middle East, North Africa, and even parts of Asia. Each culture adapted the technology to its own needs, creating variations that reflected local conditions and ingenuity. The Romans, for instance, admired the system and incorporated elements of it into their own aqueducts. Even today, Kanats continue to provide water in regions where modern infrastructure struggles to reach, a testament to their enduring effectiveness. What's perhaps most inspiring about the Kanat system is what it reveals about the people who built it. This wasn't the work of a single inventor or a sudden flash of genius. It was the result of generations of knowledge passed down and refined over centuries. It's a reminder that innovation isn't always about creating something entirely new sometimes. It's about perfecting what already exists, about finding solutions that work in harmony with the world around us. As we look back at the Kanat system, we're reminded of how ancient civilizations didn't just adapt to their environments, they transformed them. They looked at the challenges of their time and saw not just obstacles but opportunities. The Kanat wasn't just a way to move water, it was a way to sustain life, to build communities, and to thrive in the face of adversity. And perhaps as we face our own challenges with water scarcity and climate change, we can draw inspiration from those who dug tunnels in the desert, proving that even the driest landscapes can bloom with a little ingenuity and determination. Amid the crashing waves and billowing sails of ancient naval warfare, one weapon struck terror into the hearts of enemies like no other: Greek fire. This mysterious, flame-spewing substance was the Byzantines' ultimate secret weapon, a tool so devastating it could turn the tide of battle in an instant. Picture this: a fleet of enemy ships approaches Constantinople, confident in their numbers and strength. Suddenly, from the Byzantine vessels, a jet of liquid fire erupts, clinging to everything it touches and burning even on water. Panic ensues as ships are consumed in an inferno, their crews helpless against the unstoppable flames. Greek fire wasn't just a weapon, it was a psychological game-changer, a symbol of invincibility that kept invaders at bay for centuries. The exact formula for Greek fire remains a closely guarded secret to this day, lost to history along with the Byzantine Empire itself. What we do know is that it was a highly flammable liquid, likely a mixture of ingredients like petroleum, quicklime, and other chemicals, which ignited on contact with water. This made it uniquely suited for naval combat, where traditional fire weapons would have been useless. The Byzantines deployed it through specialized tubes or siphons, projecting streams of fire with terrifying precision. Some accounts even describe it being launched in clay pots or grenades, creating explosions of flame that spread chaos across enemy decks. The combination of its destructive power and the element of surprise made Greek fire a weapon unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. But Greek fire wasn't just about destruction, it was about defense. For the Byzantine Empire, which faced constant threats from both land and sea, this weapon became a critical tool for protecting their capital, Constantinople. The city's strategic location made it a target for countless invaders, from Arab fleets to Viking raiders. Yet time and again, Greek fire proved to be the empire's saving grace. In one famous instance during the Arab sieges of the 7th and 8th centuries, the Byzantines used Greek fire to repel massive fleets, ensuring the survival of their empire and the preservation of their culture. It was a weapon that didn't just win battles, it safeguarded a civilization. The psychological impact of Greek fire cannot be overstated. For enemies, the mere rumor of its use was often enough to sow fear and hesitation. Ships would break formation, soldiers would panic, and entire campaigns could be derailed by the threat of this unstoppable weapon. It became a symbol of Byzantine ingenuity and resilience, a reminder that even against overwhelming odds, they had the tools to defend their homeland. This fear factor was as much a part of Greek fire's power as the flames themselves, a testament to how innovation can shape not just the battlefield, but the minds of those who face it. What's fascinating is how Greek fire reflects the Byzantines' mastery of both science and strategy. Creating such a weapon required a deep understanding of chemistry, engineering, and military tactics. It wasn't just about having the right ingredients, it was about knowing when and how to use them for maximum effect. The Byzantines guarded their secret so closely that even today, modern scientists and historians can only speculate about its exact composition. This secrecy was part of its mystique, a deliberate strategy to maintain their advantage and keep their enemies guessing. As we reflect on Greek fire, we're reminded of how innovation can redefine the rules of engagement. It wasn't just a tool of war, it was a statement of power, a declaration that the Byzantines would stop at nothing to protect their empire. And while the flames of Greek fire have long since faded, its legacy burns brightly in the annals of history. It's a story of ingenuity, resilience, and the lengths to which humanity will go to defend what matters most. In the end, Greek fire wasn't just a weapon. It was a spark of brilliance that lit the way for one of history's most enduring empires. Stretching across the jagged peaks of the Andes and weaving through dense rainforests, the Inca road system was an engineering marvel that defied the limits of its time. Imagine a network of pathways so vast it could stretch from New York to Los Angeles twice. Spanning over 20,000 miles, this intricate web of roads connected the far reaches of the Inca Empire, linking bustling cities, remote villages, and sacred sites. But this wasn't just a means of getting from one place to another. It was the lifeblood of an empire, a masterpiece of logistics and ingenuity that held everything together. At the heart of the Inca road system was its ability to unite an empire that spanned some of the most challenging landscapes on Earth. The roads were meticulously planned, with stone-paved surfaces that could withstand the relentless wear of foot traffic and the harsh mountain climate. Steep slopes were tamed with staircases carved into rock, while rivers were crossed by suspension bridges made from woven grass, some of which could stretch over 100 feet. These bridges, rebuilt annually by local communities, were feats of engineering in their own right, allowing travelers and messengers to traverse even the most treacherous terrain. The roads weren't just functional, they were a testament to the Incas' ability to adapt and innovate in the face of nature's challenges. But the true power of the Inca road system lay in its role as a conduit for communication and control. At regular intervals along the roads, the Inca built tambos way stations that served as rest stops, storage facilities, and administrative hubs. Here, runners known as chasquis would relay messages across the empire at astonishing speeds. Using a system of relay stations, a message could travel over 150 miles in a single day, a feat unmatched anywhere else in the pre-industrial world. This network of runners allowed the Inca rulers in Cusco to maintain tight control over their vast territories, receiving updates and issuing orders with remarkable efficiency. It was an early form of instant communication, a lifeline that kept the empire's heart beating. The roads also played a crucial role in trade and cultural exchange. Goods like maize, potatoes, textiles, and precious metals flowed along these routes, connecting highland communities with coastal cities and jungle regions. This exchange wasn't just about economics, it was about unity. By facilitating the movement of goods, people, and ideas, the roads helped to knit together a diverse empire of many languages and cultures. They were a physical manifestation of the Incas' vision of Tawantinsuyu, the land of the four quarters, a unified realm where every corner of the empire was connected to the center. Of course, the road system also had a military purpose. Inca armies could march quickly along these well-maintained routes, responding to rebellions or external threats with speed and precision. Fortresses and watchtowers dotted the landscape, ensuring that the empire's borders were secure and that any incursions could be swiftly countered. The roads were both a shield and a sword, a tool for defense and expansion that allowed the Inca to build and maintain one of the largest empires in the Americas. What's truly remarkable about the Inca road system is how it reflects the values of the civilization that built it. This wasn't just infrastructure, it was a statement of ambition, ingenuity, and unity. The Inca didn't just conquer their neighbors, they connected them, creating a network that supported not just the empire's survival, but its flourishing. Even today, as modern highways crisscross the Andes, the remnants of the Inca roads remind us of what's possible when a society dares to dream big and work together. As we walk in the footsteps of the Inca, we're reminded that some inventions aren't just about practicality, they're about vision. The Inca road system wasn't just a way to move people and goods, it was a way to build a world. And perhaps as we navigate the challenges of our own time, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a mountain and saw not an obstacle but an opportunity. Their roads weren't just paths through the Andes, they were pathways to greatness, a legacy that still echoes in the stones beneath our feet. In the year 132 CE, during the Han Dynasty, a brilliant Chinese inventor named Zhang unveiled a device that seemed almost otherworldly in its capabilities, the Seismoscope. Picture a large bronze vessel adorned with intricate designs and 8 dragon heads, each poised to release a metal ball into the mouth of a waiting toad below. This wasn't just an ornate decoration, it was the world's first earthquake detector capable of sensing tremors hundreds of miles away. At a time when most people believed earthquakes were the result of divine wrath or mythical creatures stirring beneath the earth, Zhang Heng's seismoscope offered a radically different explanation. They were natural phenomena, measurable and predictable. The genius of the seismoscope lay in its simplicity and precision. Inside the bronze vessel hung a pendulum, delicately balanced to respond to the slightest vibrations. When an earthquake occurred, even far away, the ground's movement would cause the pendulum to swing, triggering one of the dragon heads to release its ball into the corresponding toad's mouth. The direction of the earthquake could then be determined by which toad caught the ball. This ingenious mechanism wasn't just a scientific breakthrough, it was a cultural one, challenging long-held superstitions and paving the way for a more empirical understanding of the natural world. But how did Zhang Heng's invention actually work in practice? Historical records describe a remarkable event in 138 CE, when the seismoscope detected an earthquake in Longxi, a region hundreds of miles from the capital. Initially, skeptics dismissed the device's warning as no tremors were felt locally. Days later, however, messengers arrived with news of a devastating earthquake in Longxi, confirming the seismoscope's accuracy. This validation wasn't just a triumph for Zhang Heng, it was a turning point in how people viewed science and technology. The seismoscope proved that humanity could harness knowledge to anticipate and respond to the forces of nature, a concept that would resonate for centuries. The principles behind Zhang Heng's seismoscope were far ahead of their time. While modern seismographs use electronic sensors and digital displays, the core idea of detecting and measuring ground motion remains the same. In many ways, Zhang Heng's invention was the prototype for the sophisticated earthquake monitoring systems we rely on today. It's a testament to the enduring power of his vision, a vision that blended artistry, engineering, and scientific curiosity into a single, groundbreaking device. Beyond its technical achievements, the seismoscope also reflects the advanced scientific culture of ancient China. Zhang Heng wasn't just an inventor, he was a polymath, excelling in fields ranging from astronomy to poetry. His work on the Seismoscope was part of a broader effort to understand the natural world, one that included mapping the stars, improving timekeeping, and studying the Earth's movements. This holistic approach to science and innovation was a hallmark of the Han Dynasty, a period of unparalleled intellectual and technological progress. What's perhaps most inspiring about the Seismoscope is how it embodies the spirit of discovery. Heng didn't set out to create a device that would change the world. He was simply driven by curiosity and a desire to solve a problem. In doing so, he not only advanced the science of his time, but also laid the groundwork for future generations to build upon. His Seismoscope reminds us that innovation isn't just about creating new tools, it's about asking new questions and challenging the limits of what we think is possible. As we marvel at this ancient invention, we're reminded that the roots of modern science run deep, stretching back to the brilliant minds of the past. Heng's Seismoscope wasn't just a tool for detecting earthquakes, it was a beacon of human ingenuity, a symbol of how knowledge and creativity can illuminate even the most uncertain paths. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of our world, we stand on the shoulders of giants like Heng, whose curiosity and courage continue to light the way forward. Along the fertile banks of the Nile, where the sun blazed relentlessly and water was the lifeblood of civilization, the Shaduf emerged as a quiet hero of ancient agriculture. Picture a wooden beam balanced on a fulcrum with a bucket on one end and a counterweight on the other. This simple lever system, operated by hand, allowed farmers to lift water from the river and pour it into irrigation channels with remarkable ease. While it may seem modest compared to the grand monuments of ancient Egypt, the Shaduf was a game-changer, transforming how farmers worked and ensuring the survival of one of history's most enduring civilizations. The brilliance of the Shaduf lay in its efficiency. Before its invention, moving water from the Nile to fields required backbreaking labor, often involving hauling heavy jars or digging extensive canals. But with the Shaduf, a single farmer could lift large quantities of water with minimal effort, thanks to the counterweight that balanced the load. This meant more time and energy could be devoted to tending crops, building infrastructure, or even pursuing crafts and trade. It wasn't just a tool, it was a multiplier of human potential, enabling farmers to irrigate larger areas and grow more food than ever before. But the Shaduf's impact went beyond individual farms. By making irrigation more efficient, it played a key role in supporting the growth of ancient Egyptian society. The Nile's annual floods brought nutrient-rich silt to the fields, but without a reliable way to distribute water throughout the year, agriculture would have been limited to the flood season. The Shaduf changed that, allowing farmers to irrigate their fields during the dry months and cultivate multiple crops annually. This steady supply of food helped sustain a growing population, fueling the rise of cities, temples, and monumental projects that defined ancient Egypt. What's fascinating is how the Shaduf reflects the Egyptians' deep understanding of their environment. They didn't just adapt to the Nile's rhythms, they harnessed its power, using tools like the Shaduf to maximize its benefits. This connection between innovation and the natural world was a hallmark of their civilization, a reminder that the best inventions often arise from a profound respect for the resources at hand. The Shaduf wasn't just a piece of technology, it was a symbol of harmony between humans and their environment. The Shaduf's influence extended far beyond ancient Egypt. Over time, the design spread to other civilizations from Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley, each adapting it to their own needs. Its simplicity and effectiveness made it a universal tool, one that remained in use for thousands of years. Even today, in some rural areas, you can still find Shaduf-like devices being used, a testament to the enduring power of this ancient invention. As we reflect on the Shaduf, we're reminded of how even the simplest tools can have a profound impact. It wasn't just about lifting water, it was about lifting entire communities, creating a foundation for growth and prosperity. The Shaduf stands as a quiet testament to the ingenuity of those who came before us, a reminder that sometimes the most revolutionary ideas are the ones that work in harmony with the world around us. And perhaps as we face our own challenges, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a river and saw not just water but possibility. Out on the open seas, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the sky blends into the water, the Vikings faced one of their greatest challenges, navigating without the sun. On overcast days, when the sky was a blanket of grey and the sun's position was impossible to discern, their legendary voyages could have easily ended in disaster. But the Vikings had a secret weapon, a small, unassuming crystal known as the Sunstone. This remarkable tool, often overlooked in the annals of history, was the key to their ability to conquer the seas and explore unknown land. So how did this crystal work, and what made it so indispensable to the Vikings? At its core, the Sunstone was a piece of calcite, a mineral with a unique property called birefringence. This means that when light passes through it, the crystal splits into two beams. By rotating the stone and observing how the light behaves, a skilled navigator could determine the sun's position, even when it was hidden behind clouds. The process was both simple and ingenious. Holding the crystal up to the sky, the navigator would rotate it until the two beams of light matched in brightness. This alignment pointed directly to the sun's location, providing a reliable reference point for plotting a course. In a world without compasses or GPS, this was nothing short of revolutionary. The Sunstone's true brilliance lies in how it transformed Viking exploration. Without it, long voyages across the North Atlantic, like the journey to Iceland, Greenland, or even North America, would have been far riskier, if not impossible. The Vikings' ability to navigate under overcast skies gave them a significant advantage, allowing them to travel farther and more confidently than their contemporaries. Imagine being aboard a Viking longship, surrounded by nothing but water and clouds, yet knowing exactly where you were headed because of this small, unassuming crystal. It wasn't just a tool, it was a lifeline, a way to outsmart the elements and push the boundaries of the known world. But the Sunstone wasn't just about practicality, it also speaks to the Vikings' deep understanding of their environment. They didn't just rely on brute strength or luck. They observed, experimented, and innovated, turning the natural world to their advantage. This blend of curiosity and resourcefulness was a hallmark of their culture, one that allowed them to thrive in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. The Sunstone is a testament to their ingenuity, a reminder that even in an era often dismissed as the Dark Ages, there were flashes of brilliance that illuminated the way forward. What's truly fascinating is how modern science has confirmed the effectiveness of the Sunstone. In recent experiments, researchers have replicated the Viking method and found that it works with remarkable accuracy, even under conditions that mimic the dense cloud cover of the North Atlantic. This validation isn't just a nod to the Vikings' navigational skills, it's a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity. The Sunstone wasn't just a clever trick, it was a product of keen observation and a deep connection to the natural world. As we reflect on the Viking Sunstone, we're reminded of how innovation often arises from necessity. The Vikings didn't set out to create a groundbreaking navigational tool, they simply needed a way to survive and explore. In doing so, they left a legacy that continues to inspire us today. The Sunstone isn't just a relic of the past, it's a symbol of how curiosity and creativity can light the way, even in the darkest of times. And perhaps as we navigate the challenges of our own era, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a cloudy sky and saw not an obstacle, but an opportunity to chart a new course. In the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers carved their paths through the land, one invention would forever change the relationship between humans and the earth, the plough. Picture a farmer standing in a field, the sun beating down as they struggle to break the hard soil with nothing but a digging stick. Now imagine that same farmer guiding a wooden plough pulled by oxen, slicing through the earth with ease and precision. This simple yet transformative tool didn't just make farming easier, it reshaped the very foundation of human society, setting the stage for the rise of civilization itself. The Mesopotamian plough was a marvel of practicality. Before its invention, preparing land for planting was a labor-intensive process, often requiring hours of backbreaking work to turn even a small patch of soil. But with the plough, farmers could cultivate larger areas more efficiently, breaking up the earth and creating furrows where seeds could be planted. This not only increased the amount of land that could be farmed, but also improved crop yields, ensuring a more reliable food supply. For the first time, communities could produce more food than they needed, creating surpluses that allowed them to thrive and grow. But the plough's impact went far beyond the fields. By making agriculture more efficient, it freed up time and resources for other pursuits. People no longer had to devote every waking moment to growing food. Instead, they could specialize in crafts, trade, or governance. This division of labor was a cornerstone of early civilizations, enabling the development of cities, writing, and complex social structures. The plough wasn't just a farming tool, it was a catalyst for progress, a spark that ignited the rise of urban centers and the birth of culture as we know it. What's fascinating is how the plough reflects the ingenuity of its creators. Mesopotamian farmers didn't just invent a tool, they revolutionized the way humans interacted with their environment. By harnessing the strength of animals like oxen, they amplified their own efforts, turning what was once a struggle into a manageable task. This innovation wasn't just about survival, it was about mastery, a way to bend the natural world to their will. And in doing so, they laid the groundwork for future advancements in agriculture, from irrigation systems to crop rotation. The plough's influence extended far beyond Mesopotamia. As the idea spread, it was adapted by other cultures, each adding their own improvements. In Egypt, for example, ploughs were used to cultivate the fertile soil of the Nile Delta, while in China, iron ploughs allowed farmers to work even tougher terrain. This diffusion of technology wasn't just a transfer of tools, it was an exchange of ideas, a testament to how innovation can transcend borders and cultures. The plough became a universal symbol of human progress, a tool that connected distant civilizations through a shared need to cultivate the land. As we look back at the Mesopotamian plough, we're reminded of how one invention can ripple through history, shaping the course of human development in ways we're still uncovering. It wasn't just a tool for tilling soil, it was a tool for building societies, for creating the conditions that allowed humanity to flourish. And perhaps as we face the challenges of feeding a growing global population, we can draw inspiration from those ancient farmers who looked at the earth and saw not just dirt but potential. The plough wasn't just a turning point in agriculture, it was a turning point in the story of us. High in the Valley of Mexico, surrounded by towering volcanoes and shimmering lakes, the Aztecs faced a challenge that would have stumped lesser civilizations: how to feed a growing population in a region where arable land was scarce. Their solution, a network of floating gardens known as Chinampas artificial islands that transformed the surface of lakes into thriving agricultural hubs. Picture a grid of rectangular plots anchored to the lakebed and surrounded by canals, each one lush with crops like maize, beans, and squash. These weren't just gardens, they were feats of engineering and sustainability, a testament to the Aztecs' ability to adapt and innovate in the face of adversity. At the heart of the Chinampa system was a brilliant combination of simplicity and sophistication. To create these floating gardens, the Aztecs wove together reeds and stakes to form rectangular frames, which they then anchored to the lakebed with wooden posts. These frames were filled with layers of mud, silt, and decaying vegetation, creating fertile soil that was rich in nutrients. The result was a raised bed of land, surrounded by water on all sides, which could be cultivated year-round. The canals between the Chinampas weren't just for transportation, they also provided a steady supply of water, ensuring that crops never went thirsty, even during dry seasons. But the true genius of the Chinampas lay in their productivity. By constantly replenishing the soil with nutrient-rich mud from the lakebed, the Aztecs created a self-sustaining agricultural system that required little additional fertilizer. The waterlogged environment also helped regulate temperature, protecting crops from frost and extending the growing season. This meant that farmers could harvest multiple times a year, producing an abundance of food that could support large urban centers like Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital. At its peak, Tenochtitlan was one of the largest cities in the world, home to hundreds of thousands of people, a feat that would have been impossible without the Chinampas. The Chinampas weren't just about survival, they were a cornerstone of Aztec culture and power. By producing surplus food, they allowed the empire to sustain a large population, including artisans, warriors, and priests, who contributed to the empire's growth and stability. The canals themselves became bustling thoroughfares, connecting the Chinampas to markets and temples, where goods and ideas flowed freely. This intricate network of water and land wasn't just a farming system, it was a living, breathing ecosystem that supported every aspect of Aztec life. What's truly remarkable is how the Chinampas reflect the Aztecs' deep connection to their environment. They didn't see the lakes as obstacles, they saw them as opportunities, transforming what could have been a limiting factor into a source of strength. This ability to work with nature rather than against it is a lesson that resonates today as we grapple with challenges like climate change and food security. The Chinampas remind us that sustainability isn't a modern concept, it's a timeless principle, one that the Aztecs mastered centuries ago. Even today, remnants of the Chinampa system can still be found in the Valley of Mexico, where farmers continue to use these ancient techniques to grow crops. This enduring legacy is a testament to the ingenuity of the Aztecs, whose innovations continue to inspire us. The Chinampas weren't just floating gardens, they were a vision of what's possible when we approach problems with creativity and respect for the natural world. And as we face the challenges of our own time, perhaps we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a lake and saw not just water, but a way to build a flourishing future. Beneath the vast expanse of the night sky, where stars shimmer like scattered diamonds, the ancient Greeks crafted a tool that would forever change how humanity navigated the heavens and the earth, the Astrolabe. Picture a disc of metal intricately engraved with celestial maps and rotating parts, designed to measure the angles of stars and planets. This wasn't just a scientific instrument, it was a bridge between the cosmos and human understanding, a device that unlocked the secrets of the skies and guided explorers across uncharted seas. At its core, the Astrolabe was a marvel of precision and ingenuity. By aligning its rotating components with the positions of celestial bodies, users could determine their latitude, track the time, and even predict the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. For sailors, this meant the ability to navigate far beyond the sight of land, using the stars as their guide. Imagine being aboard a ship in the middle of the Mediterranean, relying on this handheld device to chart a course through the darkness. The Astrolabe wasn't just a tool, it was a lifeline, a way to conquer the unknown with confidence. But the Astrolabe's significance extended far beyond navigation. For scholars and astronomers, it became a powerful tool for studying the heavens. By mapping the positions of celestial bodies, they could predict eclipses, calculate the changing seasons, and even determine the times for religious observances. This blending of science and spirituality was a hallmark of ancient Greek culture, where the pursuit of knowledge was deeply intertwined with the mysteries of the cosmos. The astrolabe wasn't just a scientific instrument, it was a testament to humanity's enduring quest to understand the universe. The design of the astrolabe itself was a work of art. Crafted from brass or bronze, its surface was adorned with intricate engravings that depicted the constellations, the zodiac, and other celestial markers. These designs weren't just decorative, they were functional, serving as a visual representation of the night sky. Users could rotate the device's plates to match the current positions of the stars, creating a dynamic model of the heavens. This combination of beauty and functionality made the astrolabe not just a scientific tool, but a symbol of the harmony between art and science. What's truly remarkable is how the astrolabe's influence spread far beyond ancient Greece. As the device traveled across the Islamic world and into medieval Europe, it was refined and adapted, becoming an essential tool for astronomers, navigators, and even astrologers. In the hands of Islamic scholars, the astrolabe reached new heights of sophistication, with detailed star maps and complex calculations that pushed the boundaries of astronomical knowledge. This cross-cultural exchange highlights the astrolabe's role as a universal tool, one that transcended borders and connected distant civilizations through a shared fascination with the stars. As we reflect on the astrolabe, we're reminded of how ancient innovations continue to shape our understanding of the world. This device wasn't just about measuring angles or predicting celestial events. It was about expanding the horizons of human knowledge. The astrolabe invites us to look up at the night sky with wonder, to see not just stars, but the limitless potential of human curiosity and creativity. And perhaps as we navigate the challenges of our own time, we can draw inspiration from those who looked to the heavens and saw not just a mystery, but a map to guide us forward. Stretching across the rugged landscapes of the Roman Empire, the aqueducts were more than just feats of engineering. They were lifelines that transformed the way people lived. Picture a towering structure of stone arches cutting through valleys and hills, carrying water from distant sources to bustling cities. This wasn't just about convenience, it was about survival, cleanliness, and the very foundation of urban life. The Roman aqueduct system stands as one of history's most ambitious projects, a testament to their ability to harness nature and reshape it to meet human needs. At its core, the aqueduct was a marvel of precision and planning. The Romans didn't just dig ditches or rely on gravity alone. They engineered a system that could transport water over vast distances, often through challenging terrain. Using a slight downward slope, sometimes as little as 1 foot of drop per mile, water flowed steadily from mountain springs to city centers. This required meticulous surveying and construction, with engineers using tools like the groma and chorobates to measure gradients and ensure accuracy. The result was a network of channels, tunnels, and arches that could deliver millions of gallons of water daily, clean, fresh, and reliable. But the aqueducts weren't just engineering triumphs, they were symbols of Roman ambition and ingenuity. In cities like Rome, water wasn't just a necessity, it was a luxury. Public fountains bubbled in plazas, baths offered relaxation and social gathering spaces, and private homes of the wealthy boasted their own running water. The aqueducts made all of this possible, turning arid urban centers into hubs of activity and culture. Imagine the awe of a Roman citizen standing beneath the towering arches of the Aqua Appia or the Aqua Claudia, knowing that this water had traveled dozens of miles to reach their city. It wasn't just infrastructure, it was a statement of power and progress. The impact of the aqueducts extended far beyond the cities they served. By ensuring a steady water supply, they supported agriculture, enabling farmers to irrigate crops and feed growing populations. They also played a crucial role in public health, reducing the spread of waterborne diseases and improving sanitation. The Romans understood that clean water wasn't just a luxury, it was a cornerstone of a thriving society. This forward-thinking approach to urban planning was ahead of its time, laying the groundwork for modern water management systems that we still rely on today. What's truly fascinating is how the aqueducts reflect the Romans' ability to integrate engineering with aesthetics. Many aqueducts were designed to be beautiful as well as functional, with ornate arches and decorative elements that blended seamlessly into the landscape. The Pont du Gard in southern France, for example, is not just a functional aqueduct but a stunning piece of architecture. Its 3 tiers of arches rising gracefully above the river below. This combination of form and function was a hallmark of Roman design, a reminder that even the most practical inventions can inspire awe. As we marvel at the legacy of the Roman aqueducts, we're reminded of how innovation can shape the course of civilization. These structures weren't just about moving water, they were about creating a better way of life, one that balanced practicality with beauty and ambition. The aqueducts remind us that even the most basic needs, like access to clean water, can spark extraordinary achievements. And perhaps as we face our own challenges today, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a landscape and saw not just obstacles, but opportunities to build something enduring. The Roman aqueducts weren't just engineering marvels, they were a blueprint for the future, a testament to what humanity can achieve when we dare to dream big. Amid the vast deserts and treacherous seas of ancient China, a small, unassuming device would forever change the way humanity navigated the world. Invented during the Han Dynasty around 200 BC, the Chinese compass was more than just a tool. It was a revolutionary leap in our ability to explore and connect. Picture a simple lodestone spoon balanced delicately on a polished bronze plate, its needle always pointing south. This seemingly modest invention would become one of history's most transformative technologies, guiding explorers, traders, and adventurers across uncharted territories and shaping the course of global history. At its core, the Chinese compass was a triumph of observation and ingenuity. Early versions, known as sinan, were used primarily for divination and geomancy, aligning buildings and tombs with the natural forces of the earth. But it wasn't long before its potential for navigation became apparent. By harnessing the magnetic properties of lodestone, the compass provided a reliable way to determine direction, even in the most disorienting conditions. Imagine being a trader on the Silk Road, surrounded by endless dunes or dense forests with no landmarks in sight. The compass offered a sense of certainty, a way to navigate the unknown with confidence. The impact of the compass on trade routes was nothing short of revolutionary. Before its invention, long-distance travel was fraught with uncertainty, relying on the stars, the sun, and the experience of local guides. But with the compass, traders could venture farther and more confidently, opening up new routes and expanding the flow of goods, ideas, and cultures. The Silk Road, already a vital artery of commerce, flourished as merchants from China, Persia, India, and beyond used the compass to traverse vast distances. This wasn't just about moving silk and spices, it was about connecting civilizations, fostering exchanges that enriched societies on both ends of the journey. But the compass didn't just influence trade, it reshaped exploration itself. By the time it reached Europe in the 12th century, it became a cornerstone of maritime navigation, enabling sailors to venture beyond the Mediterranean and into the open ocean. Portuguese and Spanish explorers, armed with compasses, charted new routes to Africa, Asia, and the Americas, setting the stage for the age of discovery. The compass wasn't just a tool for finding direction. It was a catalyst for humanity's greatest voyages, a small device that opened up the entire world. What's fascinating is how the compass reflects the interconnectedness of human progress. Its journey from a Chinese divination tool to a global navigational instrument underscores the power of cultural exchange. As the compass spread, it was adapted and refined by different cultures, each adding their own innovations. Islamic scholars, for example, improved its design, creating more precise instruments that further advanced navigation. This cross-pollination of ideas reminds us that progress is rarely the work of a single culture. It's the result of shared knowledge and collaboration. The compass also challenges our assumptions about the pace of innovation. While we often think of groundbreaking technologies as products of the modern era, the compass shows how ancient societies were capable of extraordinary advancements. It's a testament to the curiosity and creativity of the Han Dynasty, whose understanding of magnetism laid the groundwork for centuries of exploration. This simple device didn't just point the way forward, it illuminated the potential of human ingenuity. As we reflect on the Chinese compass, we're reminded of how one invention can ripple through history, shaping the world in ways its creators could never have imagined. It wasn't just a tool for finding direction, it was a bridge between cultures, a spark that ignited the spirit of exploration. And perhaps as we navigate the complexities of our own time, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a lodestone and saw not just a rock, but a key to unlocking the world's mysteries. The compass wasn't just a guide for travelers, it was a beacon of possibility, lighting the way for humanity's greatest adventures. Nestled on the island of Crete, the ancient Minoan civilization thrived as a beacon of innovation and sophistication long before the rise of classical Greece. Among their many achievements, one stands out as a testament to their forward-thinking approach to urban living: the flush toilet. Yes, you heard that right, flush toilets, complete with a connected sewage system, existed over 3,000 years ago. This wasn't just a luxury for the elite, it was a groundbreaking innovation that transformed public health and set the stage for modern plumbing. So, how did the Minoans manage such an advanced system, and what can their approach teach us about the importance of sanitation? At the heart of the Minoan flush toilet was a surprisingly simple yet effective design. Built into the floors of their homes and palaces, these toilets featured a seat made of stone or wood, with a hole that connected to a network of clay pipes beneath. Water from nearby cisterns or aqueducts would flow through these pipes, carrying waste away from the living spaces and into a larger sewage system. This wasn't just about comfort, it was about cleanliness and hygiene. By removing waste from homes and streets, the Minoans drastically reduced the spread of disease, creating a healthier environment for their communities. But the true brilliance of the Minoan system lay in its integration. These toilets weren't standalone inventions, they were part of a larger infrastructure that included drainage systems, public baths, and even stormwater management. The Minoans understood that effective sanitation required a holistic approach, one that addressed not just individual needs but the well-being of the entire city. This level of planning was unprecedented for its time, reflecting a deep understanding of urban living and public health. Imagine walking through the streets of Knossos, the Minoan capital, where clean water flowed freely and waste was efficiently managed, a level of sophistication that wouldn't be seen again in Europe for thousands of years. The impact of this innovation extended far beyond the Minoan palaces. By improving sanitation, the flush toilet played a key role in supporting the growth of their civilization. A cleaner environment meant fewer outbreaks of disease, allowing the population to grow and thrive. It also freed up time and resources that might otherwise have been spent dealing with illness or waste management, enabling the Minoans to focus on art, trade, and cultural development. Their cities became hubs of activity and innovation, attracting traders and visitors from across the Mediterranean. The flush toilet wasn't just a convenience, it was a cornerstone of their success. What's truly remarkable is how the Minoans' approach to sanitation challenges our assumptions about ancient societies. We often think of the past as a time of primitive living conditions, but the Minoans prove that advanced ideas about cleanliness and urban planning existed long before modern times. Their flush toilets weren't just a technological achievement, they were a reflection of their values, a society that prioritized health, comfort, and sustainability. It's a reminder that innovation isn't just about solving problems, it's about creating a better way of life. As we look back at the Minoan flush toilet, we're reminded of how much we owe to the ingenuity of those who came before us. Their system wasn't just a precursor to modern plumbing. It was a vision of what urban living could be: clean, efficient, and harmonious. And perhaps as we face our own challenges with sanitation and sustainability, we can draw inspiration from those ancient engineers who looked at waste and saw not just a problem, but an opportunity to build a healthier future. The Minoan flush toilet wasn't just an invention, it was a legacy, one that continues to flow through the pipes of history. In the lush jungles of Mesoamerica, where the air hums with life and the earth pulses with energy, the Olmec civilization left behind a legacy that still bounces through history: the rubber ball. This seemingly simple invention, crafted from the sap of the rubber tree, was more than just a toy or a tool. It was a cornerstone of Olmec culture, blending sport, ritual, and innovation into a single, resilient sphere. Imagine the scene: a ceremonial court carved into the earth, surrounded by stone walls. As players leapt and lunged, their rubber ball ricocheting with a force that echoed through the ages. This wasn't just a game, it was a reflection of a society that saw the divine in the mundane and the extraordinary in the everyday. The creation of the rubber ball was a feat of ingenuity that speaks volumes about the Olmec's mastery of their environment. They discovered that by mixing the latex sap from rubber trees with the juice of morning glory vines, they could create a durable, bouncy material, a process that modern scientists have only recently begun to fully understand. This early form of vulcanization, centuries before Charles Goodyear's patent, was a testament to their experimental spirit and deep knowledge of natural resources. The result was a ball that could withstand the intense physical demands of the Mesoamerican ball game, a sport that combined athleticism, ritual, and even elements of political theater. But the rubber ball wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a cultural icon. The ball game itself, often played in large, open courts, was more than a competition. It was a sacred act, a way to honor the gods and maintain cosmic balance. Some scholars believe the game symbolized the eternal struggle between light and darkness, life and death, with the ball representing the sun as it moved across the sky. The players, adorned in ceremonial garb, became conduits for these cosmic forces, their movements a dance of devotion and power. The stakes were high, with outcomes believed to influence everything from harvests to the fate of rulers. In some cases, the game even had life or death consequences, with the losing team or their captain facing ritual sacrifice. This blend of sport and spirituality highlights how deeply the Olmecs intertwined their daily lives with their beliefs. The ball game also served as a social and political tool, uniting communities and reinforcing hierarchies. Large games were public spectacles, drawing crowds from across the region to witness the skill and strength of the players. For rulers, sponsoring these events was a way to display power and legitimacy, while for commoners, they offered a rare opportunity to witness and participate in something greater than themselves. The rubber ball, bouncing unpredictably across the court, became a metaphor for the unpredictability of life itself, a reminder that even the most skilled and powerful could be humbled by fate. What's perhaps most fascinating is how the rubber ball reflects the Olmecs' ability to innovate within their environment. They didn't just use the resources around them, they transformed them into something entirely new, something that transcended its material origins. The rubber ball became a symbol of resilience and adaptability, qualities that defined the Olmec civilization itself. And while the Olmecs eventually faded into history, their invention endured, influencing later Mesoamerican cultures like the Maya and Aztecs, who adopted and adapted the ball game into their own traditions. As we reflect on the Olmec rubber ball, we're reminded of how something as simple as a ball can carry profound meaning. It wasn't just a product of ancient ingenuity, it was a vessel for culture, a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. The Olmecs didn't just play a game, they played with the very fabric of their universe, and in doing so, they left behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Their rubber ball wasn't just a bounce in time, it was a leap into the infinite possibilities of human creativity. While the Olmecs were bouncing rubber balls across their ceremonial courts, another civilization on the opposite side of the world was revolutionizing warfare in a way that would echo through history. Enter the Hittites, an ancient people who ruled over Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, around 1600 BCE. Their secret weapon, a chariot so advanced, so perfectly designed, that it became the ultimate symbol of military might in the ancient world. But what made the Hittite chariot so groundbreaking, and how did it reshape the very nature of warfare? Let's take a closer look at this engineering marvel and its lasting impact. The Hittite chariot wasn't just a mode of transportation, it was a game-changer on the battlefield. Unlike earlier, heavier chariots, the Hittite version was lightweight and agile, crafted from wood and reinforced with leather or metal. This design allowed it to move swiftly across rough terrain, giving the Hittites a speed and maneuverability that their enemies simply couldn't match. Picture this, a Hittite chariot racing across the plains, its two wheels spinning like lightning, with a driver steering and a warrior armed with a bow or spear ready to strike. This combination of speed, precision, and firepower made the chariot a devastating force, capable of outflanking and overwhelming larger armies. But the true brilliance of the Hittite chariot lay in its tactical use. The Hittites didn't just deploy these vehicles in random skirmishes, they integrated them into a highly organized military strategy. Chariots were often used in coordinated waves, their sheer speed creating chaos in enemy ranks before infantry units moved in to secure the advantage. This approach wasn't just about brute strength, it was about outthinking the opponent, using mobility and surprise to turn the tide of battle. Imagine the psychological impact of seeing a line of chariots charging toward you, their wheels kicking up dust and the sound of hooves thundering in your ears. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a psychological weapon designed to intimidate as much as to destroy. The Hittite chariot also highlights the importance of innovation in warfare. By refining the design and maximizing its efficiency, the Hittites were able to dominate their rivals and expand their empire across the Near East. Their chariots became a symbol of their military prowess, a tool that allowed them to project power far beyond their borders. This wasn't just about winning battles, it was about securing territory, resources, and influence in a highly competitive world. The chariot became a status symbol, a marker of a king's strength and a nation's ambition. What's fascinating is how the Hittite chariot influenced other civilizations. As the Hittites traded, conquered, and interacted with neighboring powers, their chariot technology spread, inspiring adaptations and improvements across the ancient world. The Egyptians, for example, adopted and refined the design, using it to great effect in their own campaigns. This cross-cultural exchange underscores how innovation can transcend borders, shaping the course of history in ways that ripple far beyond their origins. As we reflect on the Hittite chariot, we're reminded of how a single invention can redefine the rules of engagement. It wasn't just a vehicle, it was a revolution, a testament to the power of ingenuity and strategy. The Hittites didn't just fight battles, they changed the way battles were fought, leaving a legacy that would influence military tactics for centuries to come. Their chariots weren't just machines of war, they were symbols of a civilization's ability to adapt, innovate, and dominate. And perhaps as we navigate the complexities of our own time, we can draw inspiration from those who looked at a problem and saw not just a challenge, but an opportunity to create something extraordinary. The Hittite chariot wasn't just a tool of conquest, it was a leap into the future of warfare, a reminder that sometimes the wheels of progress turn faster than we ever imagined. As we journey through the annals of history, it's easy to marvel at the towering monuments and epic tales of ancient civilizations. But what truly captivates us are the quiet revolutions, the everyday inventions that reshaped societies and laid the groundwork for the world we live in today. These 26 forgotten innovations are more than just relics of the past. They are living testaments to the ingenuity of our ancestors, proof that the seeds of progress were planted long before the modern era. From the gears of the Antikythera Mechanism to the flowing waters of Roman aqueducts, these inventions remind us that ancient societies were far more advanced and far more like us than we often realize. So, why do these ancient marvels still matter? Because they are the roots of our modern world, the silent architects of the technologies and ideas we take for granted today. Think about the humble plough, a tool that transformed agriculture and allowed civilizations to flourish. Without it, the concept of surplus food, and by extension, cities, trade, and culture, might never have taken root. Or consider the Astrolabe, a device that not only guided sailors across uncharted seas, but also sparked humanity's enduring fascination with the stars. These inventions weren't just solutions to immediate problems, they were catalysts for progress, shaping the way we live, work, and dream. Even today, their influence reverberates in fields as diverse as engineering, medicine, and environmental science. The ancient world wasn't just a precursor to modernity, it was its foundation, but the legacy of these inventions goes beyond their practical applications. They teach us something profound about the nature of innovation itself. The ancient Greeks didn't just build the Antikythera Mechanism to predict celestial events, they did it to understand their place in the universe. The Mayans didn't just create a calendar to track time, they used it to connect with the rhythms of the cosmos. These inventions remind us that innovation isn't just about solving problems, it's about asking questions, pushing boundaries, and exploring the unknown. They challenge us to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. What's perhaps most striking is how these ancient innovations resonate with the challenges we face today. Take the Kanat system, for example, a network of underground tunnels that brought water to arid regions. In a world grappling with water scarcity and climate change, this ancient solution offers a blueprint for sustainable living. Or consider the Minoan flush toilet, a reminder that public health and sanitation are timeless priorities. These inventions show us that the answers to our modern problems might already exist, hidden in the wisdom of the past. By looking back, we can find inspiration to move forward. The enduring impact of these inventions also lies in their ability to connect us across time and space. The Chinese compass didn't just guide ancient traders along the Silk Road. It paved the way for global exploration and cultural exchange. The Olmec rubber ball wasn't just a game. It was a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, a reminder of the universal human desire to play, compete, and connect. These inventions remind us that, despite the vast differences in our lives and cultures, we are all part of the same human story, a story of curiosity, creativity, and resilience. As we reflect on these 26 forgotten innovations, we're reminded that progress isn't a straight line. It's a tapestry woven from countless threads of ingenuity, each one contributing to the larger picture. The ancient world wasn't a simpler time, It was a time of bold ideas and daring experiments, a time when people looked at the world around them and asked, what if? And perhaps as we face the challenges of our own era, we can draw strength from their example. These inventions remind us that human ingenuity knows no bounds, that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to imagine, to create, and to transform. The past isn't just a place to visit, it's a source of inspiration, a light that guides us forward. And in that light, we find not just the brilliance of ancient civilizations, but the promise of our own. From the intricate gears of the Antikythera Mechanism to the towering arches of Roman aqueducts, these 26 forgotten inventions offer a glimpse into the extraordinary minds of ancient societies. They weren't just solving problems, they were reshaping the world, laying the groundwork for the technologies and ideas we rely on today. Each invention, from the Baghdad Battery to the Minoan flush toilet, tells a story of curiosity, creativity, and resilience, proving that innovation isn't confined to any one era. These ancient marvels remind us that the past isn't just a collection of dusty artifacts, it's a living, breathing source of inspiration, filled with lessons that still resonate in our modern world. As we reflect on these groundbreaking innovations, it's impossible not to wonder, what will future generations say about us? What inventions of today will they rediscover and celebrate as the sparks of progress in our time? Just as we marvel at the ingenuity of the ancient Greeks or the resourcefulness of the Aztecs, perhaps one day, people will look back at our era with the same awe and admiration. The story of human innovation is far from over. It's a continuous thread weaving together the past, present, and future. If this journey through history sparked your curiosity, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the mysteries of the past. Drop a comment below and let us know which ancient invention amazed you the most. Was it the precision of the Antikythera Mechanism, the sustainability of the Kanat system, or perhaps the ingenuity of the Viking Sunstone? Your thoughts and insights make this community even richer. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering the extraordinary stories that shape our world. History isn't just something we study, it's something we live, learn from, and build upon every day.